Well, thanks, Matt, for the background on all of the efforts that have been going on behind the scenes with the AIP. And my presentation is in 3 parts. It's about a little bit about the background of Pub2Web, and also a bit of the workflow with the AIP Publishing site. Then we'll look at current live features on the AIP Citation site, and then we'll look at other possibilities. Just in talking to a few people last night, I realized that perhaps people don't know a lot about publishing technology, so I'm going to quickly talk about that. Publishing technology offers end-to-end solutions within publishing. So we have large enterprise-level systems for trade and scholarly publishers, Vista and Advanced Service are the products there. We have Publishers Communication Group that does sales and marketing, market research, telemarketing campaigns, usability studies. And then there's also the online division. So we've been in the online hosting business since 1998 with our Ingenta Connect platform. Pub2Web is relatively new technology. We're rolling some of that technology into Ingenta Connect, and we have 275 publishers across the portfolio of online services. So the presentation today is about Pub2Web, and it's important to note that Pub2Web is a powerful content hosting and delivery solution. So we can package content up into big collections or slice and dice content into the granular level. So we could serve up items such as an article, but maybe even just the images, and build up image collections, that type of thing. So it's a very flexible solution that also can be, of course, packaged and monetized. So we offer flexible support for content and business models. And so with Pub2Web, there is inherent flexibility in the data storage and querying mechanisms, which allows the content owner to start as big or as small as they wish and evolve the data model and the site per their digital strategy over time. So, every site, once it's live, and I know they've had a big launch party, Pub2Web's launched, but it really is an evolving site, and that's the case with all of our customers. And it's important to note that the Pub2Web platform, and today we're talking about scholarly hosting solution. We're talking about journals and news magazine, conference proceedings on the AIP Publishing site, but it is a domain agnostic solution, so the Pub2Web platform itself and the underlying data stores are agnostic to the type of content and type of domain, making it well suited to cross over into different industries, newspapers, magazines, multimedia, corporations, biotech, etc. So that's just an important thing that I was meant to mention. So about Pub2Web and semantics. So I think it's important also in conversations last night, people were wondering a bit more about the background. So with semantic web technology. So semantics is about identifying things or concepts such as articles, books, people, molecules, and then describing those things by capturing their properties, like who has written this paper, what is the name of the molecule, and also capturing the relationship between those concepts. And then semantic technology is about taking those concepts and relationships and expressing them in a machine-readable way, and that's what the RDF triples are about. So we had this in mind when we built the Pub2Web platform. Our technical architect was very aware of this and wanted to build it with using semantic web technologies like RDF and Sparkle. So I mentioned that it's content agnostic, and we have a very flexible modeling of data. So we can support journals, books. The idea is not to necessarily shoehorn. This is a classic thing with some older technology, is you have to shoehorn a book into a journal platform. But the idea is for people to render the content digitally in real life, as it would appear in real life. And so we can support all different content types, whether that's a technical paper or anything. We would do a different modeling exercise if it's a different type of content. The platform seamlessly integrates with internal and external data stores like link open data, which I'll talk about in more detail. But the Pub2Web platform is used to improve navigation, browsing, searching. So the idea is that you can find content in multiple ways. Maybe you're on a concept homepage and you find some information, or maybe you find it at the article level. So that's definitely something that is important with Pub2Web. And the idea is to make the relevant data more visible and that's through recommendation engines like Jay spoke about. So if you like this, then this also might be relevant based on the semantically enriched content. Also, the idea is to add more value to your content. So to leverage and if you have existing content, how can you leverage it to bundle, make more money? What can you do to deliver your content in different ways to make your site more interesting? So the results are richer applications, and really the aim is to make the site more of a destination. Paul spoke about how only 10% of his papers were published on the AIP publication, the AIP Citation site. Well, if we could make that bigger, that would be something that would be that would hopefully drive more users. So our meta store is an RDF triple store, and so it only store, the meta store is a proprietary product that only stores the metadata, like figures, tables, subjects, etc. And then we have a document server that holds the full text items, like the full text XML and the PDF, the images, that type of thing. So this is the workflow. So essentially, information comes in from our suite, AIP Publishing, Access Innovations. It all comes in the XML that we receive, and we then load the XML into our Metastore loader, where we extract all of the images. And we, with the Pub2Web platform, we don't necessarily need the content to come in triples. We can create that in the Metastore. But right now, I think Access Innovations sends it over, and we convert it to triples. But it's something that Access Innovations could just send it to us in triples as well. So what we do for AIP is we extract the content, the images, tables, authors, concepts, institutions, and there may be more. So some features that come out and we'll look at would be like author and institutional homepages. So by having that information, we can create new products and features. And so all that information is loaded into the Metastore, and the search index, which is based off Lucene, and our search is Solar. If anybody has a lot of questions about that, I might have to defer. But also, we have external data sets as well, coming into the AIP site. So we have Archive, PubMed, and Web of Science, so people can access these other sites by being on the AIP site. So thanks to all of AIP Publishing's efforts and also Access Innovations, we have a number of really neat features on the current citation site. Article level features to help searching and browsing, and then author institutional homepages. So we'll go through some of those now. So at the article level, we have what we call key topics bar. So right here, we're exposing the taxonomy, and we're saying that this particular article is more about permittivity, and you can hover over and get a concept score and see it's less about these other topics. So, researchers are busier than ever. We just heard that, and they need to make well-informed decisions about what they read, even if it's free. So you're seeing here this article is free to open access, and if it were, this key topics bar is exposed for people who, if it's something behind the firewall where people have to actually pay for or subscribe. So this key topics bar could be at the abstract level or the full text level. This could be in books, it could be in other products as well. Also on the article level, we have related content. So these are stronger correlated recommendations than something based off of the standard metadata. Also notice here you have you can link into the Web of Science as well. So if you wanted to look at other related articles outside of the AIP site, the idea is you can't beat them, join them. So send them off if that's what it takes to Web of Science if necessary. So one thing that Pub2Web does is we generate automatically PDF cover pages, so with the metadata, but also on the cover page. So if you click on any PDF, it'll automatically have this nice cover branded with a journal information, the article information, and then articles that we recommend based off of the taxonomy. So it's the same ones that you're seeing in this tab format as you are seeing here on the PDF cover page, as well as advertising. So recently, Google has taken all of the subscriber files of publishers, and they're making this decision to, it actually sort of is impacting SEO. So if a researcher has access to the content, then they will automatically be served that article, it'll come up more to the top of the list than if it was something that they don't subscribe to. So that means that people can essentially almost bypass, and you have that button feeling lucky or whatever it is, you can literally bypass the whole site and go right to the PDF, which is, as we know, what today's researchers are still preferring. That being said, 5 years from now, that might not be the case, but today it definitely is something. So this PDF cover page is really useful, and this is our one, the one chance to have other calls to action to keep them on the AIP site. So when it comes to searching and browsing, there's auto-suggest in the taxonomy, so people will start typing and then the taxonomy terms pop up. So here's a search results page, and there's actually a lot to talk about here. First of all, you can filter by the taxonomy items on the left, and you can see the plus and minus to see more or less taxonomy items. You also can see that they have made a decision to do tab search results, so they have their research publications, essentially journals and conference proceedings, Physics Today, which is news, and then related databases, which if you were to click on that, you'd see Archive and PubMed on there. Further down here is the ability to filter by authors, which have been disambiguated, and it's a whole big old list. And also up at the top, throughout the whole navigation of the site, is topics, and so you can browse up and down the taxonomy. Now they have 6,000, or 7,000 terms or something. Not all of those are exposed on the site, but you can browse through probably hundreds of topics through that topic bar. But so essentially, the Pub2Web platform automatically generates concept pages for the taxonomy items. So these are the relevant, we conducted search for acoustic noise. These are the relevant concept homepages that would appear in that topics page. So you could click on any of these and go to a homepage on that particular topic. So you can see this topic is under the header of acoustic, so this is the more general. Then you have more specific, and then you have related topics. So it's a really nice way to find what you're looking for and find related information. Also notice tab format again on this page, research publications, Physics Today, authors. By the way, for a medical publisher, this could be a great place for, any kind of publisher, but medical publishing typically has the strongest opportunity for advertising. So advertising would be a nice revenue generator here, targeting a specific concept. So here we can see research publications, journal, conference proceedings, news, and then you can even see authors who have published in this area. So right now, so here I am clicking on this to see the authors tab open on the concept homepage. And here you can click on any of these authors, and in fact you could click on the author from the article homepage and see what's going on with that particular author and go to the author homepage, which has been disambiguated. Now we can add in the ORCID. It's just another metadata field. I don't know if there's room for 3, sure, but we can definitely add in the ORCID, and then I think there's opportunity to, once the researchers start using it more, which I think it's definitely picking up more so, and it's definitely growing, but not every researcher knows about it. But once that happens, we could be having author homepages from throughout the internet. So this is the author homepage, and then you can see that you could browse by, these are the articles that this person's published on the AIP Citation site, and these are the institutions that are affiliated with this individual, and then you could go on to the institutional homepage. So these are our current, current institutional homepage. So those are the features that I wanted to show on the AIP site that are taking advantage of all of Access Innovation's efforts in semantic enrichment. But there are a couple of other low-hanging fruit ideas, and we talked about the sites are always evolving. So what we want to do is, or what these ideas are about adding more content, trying to make the site more of a destination, improving the user experience, and new product development. How can you leverage this content to make, and this effort to make more money, if that's what your thing is. So we've looked at this before. We talked about how we're pumping in archive and PubMed, Web of Science into the AIP site, for example. But we have this whole linked data diagram here that my nice technical architect shared with me. And so this is the linked open data cloud diagram. This image shows data sets that have been published in linked data format by contributors to the Linking Open Data Community Project and other individuals and organizations. This metadata, it's based on metadata collected and curated by contributors to the Data Hub, as well as on metadata extracted from a crawl of the linked data web conducted in April 2014. So it's just this massive group of linked data, all these data sets. Now, we don't know that all of them are necessarily trusted. I've just kind of blown up the key here, so you can see that they're organized and color-coded by different subject areas. So the idea is to not just have a few data sets pumping into the site, but to involve as many as you possibly can to make the site, to add context to your content. And one thing that we've looked at for another publisher is putting together country homepages, so taking information that particular publisher publishes on a country, but also incorporating information about that country, like statistics about education or other types of things. So that's something that we were looking to do because there's a lot that you could do with geography. So the next 3 slides I want to show are from a pilot project that we actually did 4 or 5 years ago. And it's a pilot project that we did with 2 society publishers and with their open access content. So we created, they're more medical type publishers, so this is a homepage for a particular disease. And what we did is we federated in content from DBpedia, Bio2, RDF, and linkct.org. So here we federated in, well, you can see the Medline Plus ID, so there's extra information that is related to this particular disease that wasn't in the publisher's content. And then also we federated in content from clinicaltrials.gov. So an idea that has been floating around is bringing in patent, US patent and European patent information into the AIP site. And it was nice to see that that was something that was a reason that people start their search on Google Scholar. So any more that you can get to start with the AIP site would be great. If anything, it would just make the site more rich and lively. So I should say that this could be, you could federate in information like clinical trials or patents at both the concept level or at the article level as well. This is a homepage for a particular species, the Blatella germanica. So you can get, so we federated information in here from images, and we could do something like that with Wikimedia on AIP. But here you're also getting the GenBank common name is the German cockroach, and you're getting information about all the lineage as well, and all of those are linkable. So lots of extra information is appearing here having to do with this particular species. And the last interesting piece of this pilot project is adding in definitions. So here's like it's not a beautiful looking site, it's more Easter egg kind of colors, but you can hover over all of the taxonomy terms and actually get definitions here. So that's great for interdisciplinary readers or people who are, students who are just trying to learn. So this is in the full text, but it also could be, a definition could be included on the concept homepage as well.
Where are the definitions coming from?
So that's the important thing, is they're coming from these different data sets in that linked data area. And the important thing, I guess, is you need to make sure that you have subject matter experts checking into these and making sure that they're trusted, strong data sets. And then there's licensing and permission challenges as well. You just have to make sure, there might be a cost to them, there might not be, but you just have to make sure that that's available for you. So it's not just so easy as picking one, but hopefully there are ways that you can add, as I said, context to your content. So the semantic profile for the user, and that was something that Jay had mentioned before. So the Pub2 platform captures behavior, and that behavior can be mapped to the taxonomy and thesaurus. And the results are that you could have the ability to tailor your site to show specific features. So we could do more on the advertising level, and again, that's an important moneymaker for many publishers. So showing more tailored ads in relevant subject areas, and that hopefully the more tailored, the more click-throughs you have. The more click-throughs you have, the more likely an advertiser will come back to you. And also that whole recommended for you idea with the semantic profile. So we have most cited, most popular, most read, editor's pick, featured articles. There's all of these kind of like widgets on the Pub2 website that you can elect to use. But a recommended for you would be based off of the person's user behavior and also their the taxonomy. And that could be another feature to help drive traffic. And then last but not least, for many people, it's how can we leverage our current content. So now that you have these wonderful concept pages, you don't need editors to create a new product. You can just simply build them by, a lay person could put a package together, and that package could be a print-on-demand product, or it could be an online product for a particular conference that has advertising sponsorships, something like that. And the idea is to really look at your customer usage data, and it sounds like that's something that you guys are doing, is looking at all of this data that you have and seeing and using and deciding, okay, we're going to go down this field, build a product in this topic area rather than this, and that's what the semantic features can help do. So that's a list of some of the low-hanging fruit that we see that we could do with the Pub2 website. Some of those we've already done in other ways, in other sites, but for AIP there's some opportunity there. So any other types of questions for myself or Matt?